What's happening, people? Come on back. Today we're talking about the Pokemon TCG Pocket, specifically the deck that counters the Celebi meta that we all love and hate so much. Okay, so the deck that we're talking about today is CC, the Celebi counter. It is a Gallade deck, but it's also just an overall fighting type deck, which I don't really think I've made a video on before. It's utilizing a card that you needed to get in the first event that they held for the Lapras event, so if you do not have that card, unfortunately, you will not have the same outcomes, but there are alternatives. You can use different Mankeys, it's just not as strong. So let's go ahead and get into the deck list real quick. We've got 2 Ralts, 2 Curlias, 2 Mankeys, 2 Primeapes, and 2 Gallade X. You want to run these specific Ralts because they don't utilize any Psychic energies, and they're not really... It's not going to be withholding your deck. Obviously, you could like turn off the Psychic energy, but at the same time, if you need to use the Curlia to attack, why wouldn't you? It kind of like, it just pulls it back, and it doesn't do too much different damage, so... It's totally fine. But after we have the Pokemon, we have 2 Potions, 2 X Speed, 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor's Research, and 2 Cyrus. Premise of the deck, you're mainly going to be using the Mankey and the Primeapes, and then when you have to, bring in the Gallade to counter the big bads that your opponent has, whether it's just a Pokemon that has a lot of energies, or if it's Celebi, which has a lot of energies. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into a game. All right, game 1. Let's see what happens. We are going to go second, which I always prefer. We know that for a fact. We unfortunately don't have that phenomenal of a starting hand, though. There is a chance with the Professor's Research 2 turns in a row, but other than that, it is kind of unfortunate how bad this hand was. We are going to just see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky enough and we'll go up against the Celebi deck the first time, and I can show you what I mean by it's the Celebi counter. Unfortunately, we're not. Are we going up against a mirror match right now? That would be hysterical. If this is a mirror match, this would be so funny. Okay, it's not a mirror match. It is a mirror match. They just put in a Riolu / Lucario. It isn't a mirror match? What is this? They've got everything. They've got literally everything. Hello? Okay, we got another Primeape. Not much we can do with that. We're unfortunately just gonna pass. Could you imagine? What am I gonna teleport into? There's nothing on my bench. I mean, this does kind of suck that we don't have anything else to put on the bench. If they do anything, we could just take a big fat L. Okay, they passed. We do get a Mankey now. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy to here. I'm in a Professor's Research, and if we draw a Curlia, I'll keep it in. If we don't, I'll switch it out. We got another Mankey, which is honestly, that's fine with me. And we're going to get another Ralts here, too. So we're just going to have our board set up. We're just going to have our board set up, and hopefully, how many are left in my deck? There's 8 left. I'm hoping we draw at least 1 Curlia by the time we need it. I do, however, feel like I should start the Mankey. Let's go ahead and start the Mankey up. I'm going to go for Reckless Charge. There's not much that the Mankey can do to us right now. They can do maximum 30 damage to us if they... Because there's no energy. So they can't like evolve into Primeape and kill us because I did damage to them. So the most that they can do right now is either evolve it and not do anything, or they can attach a Rocky Helmet to it. Cool. Good for you, bud. That's very, very good for you. Let's see what happens here. They are going to evolve. They're going to pass it to me. I do get the Curlia, which is perfect. Let's go ahead and evolve that. We'll go ahead and evolve this, and then we'll go ahead and evolve this as well. We do have the Gallade, so setup will be quite easy. Setup will be quite easy from this turn forward. It is, I still think it is actually comical that our first game is a mirror match. That to me is so funny. That to me is actually, it's like, because I've been testing this deck for like 2 days. Or actually yesterday, because I just pulled the second Gallade yesterday. But I was testing it with only 1 before. And honestly, there's part of me that wants to keep it at 1. There's part of me that wants to keep it at 1. I need you to land 2 tails. This is unreal. Land 2 tails right now, or you're not real. That's 1. That's 2. Thank you. I needed that so badly. I needed a turn. I needed a turn. I just spit. I don't know if you guys saw that. I need a turn to start setting up this Curlia, like now. They conceded. Oh man, I feel so bad. Okay. Let's get into a second game. All right, game number 2. Let's see what happens. Looking forward to this. I need to get it into like a better habit of plugging my iPad in when I stop recording. because I end up coming down here to record and my iPad is always super close to dying. So it always happens and it's super unfortunate. All right, I feel like we're in a pretty good position to be able to hit this thing. Not that we have a Mankey or a Primeape to evolve into. Hopefully we draw one, or a Curlia. Honestly, if we can get a Curlia, I'll just start setting, or we have a Curlia. If I get a Ralts. If I get a Ralts, I'll just start setting that up and I'll leave Mankey out here to either tank a hit. But the fact that they started with Regigigas makes me happy. We'll have enough time to buy out, do some damage, and hopefully draw into a Primeape. I'm going to go ahead and just hit him with the Reckless Charge because it is going to do 50. We could honestly, maybe even potentially just kill the Regigigas without evolving into a Primeape. There is always that opportunity as well. That's going to be really hard for them to retreat this unless they go for like a Leaf and 2x speeds, especially since they're not putting energies on here. Unless there's something that I'm forgetting. I don't think I'm forgetting a Pokemon or a card that allows you to switch everything out. We did, fortuitously, draw into a Primeape though, which means that this Regigigas is going to fall expeditiously, and then the Meowth will just follow, and hopefully they won't set anything else up and it'll just be an easy dub for us. I do hope that one of the games that happens is going to be Celebi, because this was like the whole point of it was to be like a Celebi counter, so it does kind of suck that we're not going up against a Celebi deck at the current moment. But I mean, I think you guys kind of get the point. I mean, it's just basically Gallade. Gallade just does 20 more damage for each energy attack to your active Pokemon, which means if they have Superior out and 4 energies, your attack's going to do, what does the math do there? 2 times 8, 16, 160, it'll do 250, 230 damage. I can't math. So yeah, it just overall, it's just a good counter to it if you can get it set up. I guess I should just equip an energy because I can. I have nothing else to put it on, so it doesn't really matter, but let's go ahead and do 120 damage. Kill that Meowth. Bring in the Farfetch'd. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I guess we don't technically have to go up against a Celebi deck to show you. You guys can just see, like, the proof is in the pudding, as the saying goes, I think. Maybe it's not even a saying. I could just be making stuff up. I don't really know. It would be nice to get a Celebi game in. I just don't know if there's going to be enough time because I am recording this the day that it goes live, unfortunately. That is just how it has to be for this current video. I did not have the time to record over the weekend or do any of that kind of stuff. So I'm recording this day of, and I'm doing it on my lunch break so I can try to get it up when I get off of work. So I don't know if there'll be enough time to get a Celebi game in. It just depends on what happens. But let's go ahead and get into the next game because that one was just that as a cakewalk. Probably even a bad example of what the deck does, but I mean, okay, next game. All right, game number 3. Let's see what happens. And unfortunately, just based off of time, this is my last game. So hoping I just check the energies. It's not going to be a Celebi deck, which is really unfortunate, but I don't know if it's necessarily essential for you guys to see me go up against Celebi specifically. You guys know what Gallade does. 70 damage base, 20 plus more damage for each energy attached to it. It kind of just makes sense that it would counter the Celebi. I'm sorry that I didn't get to showcase it. Maybe we'll do another video where I tweak the deck a little bit because I haven't decided if I like the deck with 2 Gallades or if I like it just with 1. I do like the idea of having 2 Gallades because it does open up a lot of opportunity. Like we could lose one and still have one to have it happen again. But also having 2 2-stage Pokemon in a deck, it makes it so, like, the variability. Actually, our hand is flawless. Our hand is actually perfection. This is kind of crazy. We have the evolution for Mankey and we have the full line for Ralts. But anyway, when I was testing this, I did initially test this only with 1 Gallade because I didn't have a second one at the time. Part of me likes it more with just 1 Gallade because 1, it reduces the amount of Pokemon you have in your deck and you're able to add more trainers, but also you can put in cards like Marshadow, and Marshadow is really good for revenge hits. One of your Pokemon dies, like if you just did 120 something damage with Gallade and it wasn't enough to finish the job, you can bring in the Marshadow afterwards and it'll deal 100 points of damage with the revenge. Or you have Mankey fall because it dies relatively quickly, you can go right back in and hit him for 100 points of damage and then do it again. I don't know if I like the deck more with 2 or if I like it with 1 and a Marshadow and a couple more trainers. I haven't decided. I did decide to make the video on the one with 2 because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, from a broad audience perspective, The idea of using 2 is more enticing because it's more consistent. If you lose 1, you do have a backup and you can do it again. And I do like that. They conceded. Not much that they could do there. Unfortunately, that'll maybe I can squeeze one more game in. All right, let's see what happens. I can squeeze one more game in. All right, bonus match number 4. We're gonna go first, which obviously isn't ideal. I always like to go second. We do have a Ralts in hand and a Gallade and a Professor's Research, so hopefully we're able to draw into the Kirlia here. This doesn't look like it's going to be a Celebi deck, just based off of the energy that's being shown right now, which I guess is okay. It's fine that we didn't go up against one, but hopefully the deck makes sense to you guys and I don't have to actually showcase a match against Celebi, because, like, yeah, it would have been ideal to show you guys, but I feel like you guys should just understand the premise of it just based off of what the cards do. We do have an X speed. So next turn, I'm going to switch into the Mankey, and I probably should have just done that now in case they decided to do some chip damage, but unfortunately, I didn't do that. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. Also, my iPad is at 21%, so it may hit us with that low battery in a second. Hopefully, it doesn't. But all right, so Ralts is going to take 20 points of damage. Let's go ahead and retreat into. I'm going to go ahead and retreat into the... I'm going to retreat into the Mankey. I'm not going to do anything because I don't need to take any more damage than I need to. And the Pound would end up killing me. So I am actually just going to evolve it here and then pass. And hopefully they decide to hit me for a little bit and then regret that right afterwards because they weren't paying attention. They do only have one Togepi set up. These games have been so weird. I don't know what it is, but the games... I'm hoping that they still decide to hit me, because if they decide to hit me and they don't put anything on the bench, then I just win. Did they get a basic? Did they get a basic, or are we going to be fine? I feel as though we might be fine. They're going to Mythic Slab again. They get a basic. It's kind of I don't know what's going on, what's happening. They just keep ditching Pokemon to draw into different Pokemon. Did they get any basics? Are they gonna play anything? Okay, they do have a second Togepi down. Okay, I was gonna say okay, and they got an Azelf. Okay, they've got a pretty good setup going on right now. I guess the game's gonna be longer than anticipated. I can still knock it out in one hit if they decide to hit me right now. Please decide to hit me. Okay, good. All right, I do have a potion. I'll counteract some of the healing. Let's go ahead and start setting up our bench a little as well. Maybe we can get a second Primeape out here. Nope, we get another Ralts, which is okay. It's not bad by any means. We'll go ahead and set that up. Let's go ahead and use a potion to heal up a little bit more. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit him in the face for 100 points of damage and kill that Togetic. How do you guys pronounce it? Do you guys pronounce it Togetic, or do you guys pronounce it Togetic? Because I always pronounced it Togetic, but growing up, my cousin, I think it was my cousin, he used to pronounce it Togetic or Togetic. And it always confused me because it never sounded right. Togetic always sounded better to me. I don't know if it's right, but it's Togepi, so Togetic always sounded better. And like Togekiss, all of those lined up for me. I never pronounced it Togepi and then went to Togetic, but I've definitely heard people pronounce it that way. So let me know what you guys think. We're going to go ahead and kill the Azelf. Plain and simple. We're just going to kill the Azelf. We can't do anything else, unfortunately. I'm just going to set up that Ralts a little bit. Go ahead and hit for 100 damage, kill the Azelf, and then Togetic's going to come in, and you never know. Maybe it's going to be a Togekiss, and they're going to be able to deal 80 damage, and it'll kill me. Because I think that's what Togekiss does. I think it has 80 damage. But I think it costs 2 energy, no? I mean, even if it does, they'll be able to do that. If they do actually have the Togekiss. Which they do. Oh, it's going to do 60, which is still going to be enough to kill me, which is unfortunate, but I guess that's just something that we'll have to deal with. So Togekiss will kill the Primeape. I'm going to go ahead and go into this Ralts here because it doesn't have an energy. I need to draw a Kirlia. That's what I need. We're going to draw Cyrus. That's not what I need. Let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and end turn. Overdrive Smash is going to do... Wait, okay, so does Overdrive Smash stack on top of itself multiple times? So, like, now it's doing 120. Is the next turn going to do 180? You know what? We'll probably end up losing this game, but I'm very curious to see what actually happens. If it's just going to continue doing 120 or if it continues stacking. The really unfortunate thing is that we just drew into nothing that would be of use at all. So I'm just, at this point, we're gonna lose. It's whatever. It was a bonus game for us. It doesn't stack. Okay, I was gonna say, if it stacks on top of its stacks, that would be ridiculous. So, I mean, there's the game. There's the game. We lost that one, so whatever. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let's go ahead and wrap it up there. All right, guys, that's the deck. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. If there's anything you would change, if you would add. Do you guys like the idea of running one Gallade and then running a Marshadow with a couple of other trainers? Or do you like the idea of running two like I did in this deck? Let me know down below. Me, personally, I feel like I'm leaning towards running one copy of Gallade and like just one of the whole line and then running a Marshadow. For me, I don't know. I feel like the majority of the time my gameplay with this deck revolves around the Primeape more than the Gallade anyway, so having the Marshadow in there might be a good little like sneak damage every now and then. I don't know. The Gallade is definitely nice, and it actually, like I said, it counters the Celebi meta, so that is good. If you're running it specifically to counter Celebi, then run two. That would probably be my suggestion. But if there's anything that you would change about the deck, let me know down below. I'll take your considerations to heart, and maybe we'll make another video on this where I actually go up against the Celebi deck. But hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you do, sub if you're new, but I'm out. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.